Hi, folks. Hi, with Tacitus today at your Pushback Channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the, uh, the propensity of low wage workers to live on fast food and take out food, burgers, pizzas, whatever, and their resistance to um, preparing their meals, buying sort of food in the grocery store and preparing their meals at home or something like that, making sandwiches, whatever. So um, now we had this is a little while ago, we had a temp gig for a couple of weeks. We were doing some things and with a client, and they had quite a large factory next to where their office complex was. So uh, it was in the parking lot. It was easy to bump into factory workers, just see what they were doing, and we had to liaise with just a few of them who had some sort of expertise in the setting up of a production line. So anyway, we kind of had an interaction with them, and I wasn't there every day, but when I noticed in the morning one of those mobile, food sort of vans would come around, and they'd sell things like, I don't know, egg and bacon roll, donuts, coffee, that sort of stuff, and so they would set off this little sort of I don't know, small siren or something, and they'd arrive, and I noticed the factory guys would all flock out there. Now these are guys who aren't even making the average wage. They're getting paid like 10 to 20% less than the average wage. So these guys don't have big bucks to throw around, and they'd go and they'd buy um, a egg and bacon roll, a donut, and a cup of coffee, and it would come to like $15, and I was surprised that people in that way would spend that. Like, why didn't they eat some cornflakes at home before coming, or something? Like, why did they make a sandwich? Why didn't they go and buy, because the cake that they buy from the truck, the van, that's like $5, you can buy those same cakes for $2 in the grocery store. So why would they, put themselves in a position of having to pay more than they needed to, particularly given they've got a low wage? So I didn't, I just noticed. It was none of my business. I wouldn't even do that, and I get paid many times what they get paid. So, but anyway, I was watching that. Then the same truck would come around, the van would come around at lunchtime, and they'd go and they'd burn another, $10 or $12 or so on lunch, and then and I started talking to them. And they would, so on their way back to their home, they'd stop at a burger chain or something like that and get dinner. So, and that would be or have an evening meal. That would be another $10 to $15. So these people were spending $40, between $30 and $40 a day on eating and eating out. So now, if you look at none of the food is particularly nutritious, but anyway, I mean, so I saw that. I found that odd. I mean, given their low wage, now some of them were living communally. They'd have a 3-bedroom house, and there'd be someone in each bedroom. There'd be girlfriends living there, maybe, and there'd be somebody living in the lounge on a one of those lounge suites you can fold out to be a bed and everything. So they were living like that. So I guess their overhead and rents, they kind of seem to share a car, from what I could gather, but they had a different lifestyle to the one that I would lead. But hey, now, and not were they all young. I mean, some of them were in their mid 30s, late 30s even. So still living that hand to mouth lifestyle and having no future. They own nothing. Everything they own you could fit into a couple of suitcases. So they've got no future. They've got no. One of them had children, but they illegitimate children. Like there's one guy there who had had conceived a child with some girl when he was 14. I mean, some of them are not high IQ people, and which is like, I guess, why they're in that sort of employment. But anyway, so I was talking to just a couple of them about, well, you must be spending like $300 a week on food, like, because you're eating every meal out, and so oh yeah, it'd be about that, I guess. So now, given the rent and everything else, you must be living sort of hand to mouth. Oh yeah, the day before my paycheck arrives, I've got nothing. I'm down to my last nickel, and so wow, if that paycheck doesn't arrive the next day, I'm screwed, and so on. So just more out of just academic interest on my part, not to interfere or get them to think that I've got a bigger idea, a better idea on lifestyle. But I said, well, what about buying some cornflakes, maybe some fruit, I don't know, banana or something. You're putting it in your cornflakes, piece of toast. You can make a cup of coffee or tea at home, and that whole thing will cost you a couple of bucks as opposed to $15 at the food cart when it comes around. Oh no, I can't do that. I just can't do that. It's just too much work, Now, the argument effectively was that it just takes too much time and effort to organise ahead, to think ahead, to plan ahead, to have to have things in place. When you get that many people living in the house, if one person is good at planning and buys the cornflakes, the other people will eat their cornflakes or eat their cereal. And then there's tension between the people there. Why did you eat my cornflakes? Get your own cornflakes or contribute to the price of the cornflakes. And so the idea that they would get together communally and go out and buy the groceries really doesn't work. Like they don't seem to be able to do that. That they don't want to plan. Just even planning ahead. Thinking what do I need to buy at the shop today? Even remembering to get the milk, or something. This just seems to be too much for them. They just can't. It's too hard. And they don't seem to have a view that they've got so little invested in their life and their future, and they have no future, and they're never going to have a future. Is their view that they kind of live hand to mouth. That's like, why bother about tomorrow? I might be dead tomorrow. I might be dead today, and there's no investment in the future. Certainly not in their cognizance. But I didn't give up. I said, okay, well, it's you can do like lunch. You bring a couple of sandwiches. Again, you could reduce your weekly food bill from $300+ down to easily less than $100 if you again bought your cornflakes, bought your loaf of bread, made your sandwiches, and brought some fruit. Want to bring an apple and a couple of sandwiches or something for lunch. No, can't be bothered. All too hard. So that's sort of why they, I even pointed out, well, look, the grocery store does cooked chickens. You get a cooked chicken, hot chicken, and you can get their decent sized chicken, and you can get four evening meals out of that, or you can eat for breakfast and dinner, or lunch and dinner for 2 days, and for one cooked chicken. So that's good value. That'll again reduce your food bill by 2/3. Nah, too hard. And this idea, you just go straight into. And I understand the convenience. I get that. You go straight into the takeout food shop or the the burger chain or something. You order your burgers, you sit down, you eat it, you're gone. Everything, the cooking, the organising, all the the logistics, if you will, are all someone else's problem. You walk in, you eat, you walk out, done. And I do get that convenience factor. And for people that see that even tomorrow is a long way away and they have no investment in the future, that seems a bit. So I'm not sure whether it's convenience on its own. There is that these people are prepared to pay an absolute premium. Simply because they don't care and they have no investment in the future. And I think this is a bigger issue. Now, you do get other situations where both, two adults, together, and they both work long hours, and they both arrive back home, tired and worn out, and they just want something that's quick and easy. They don't want to have to, fuck about preparing something elaborate. I do get that as well. But you know, we both work, you know, here, and you know, I organise, you know, we both between us, you know, we organise to buy everything we need. You know, we're quite studious and you know, careful about planning ahead and organising it. But that seems to be beyond some of these other people, and so they really financially disenfranchise themselves through this sort of behaviour. And not all of them are obese either. You know, obesity isn't in isolation an issue, but it just intrigued me that people on such low wages would behave in a manner that was so injurious to their standard of living. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.